Hi guys, it's me again, Annabelle. I was just wanting to go over some thoughts I had. I was, I'm seeing a ginger therapist, to, beg her to allow me to start HRT, and I was thinking about it. It kind of forces me to think about when I first thought I might be transgender. Anyway. And when I first found out about transgenderism, whatever it's called, whatever the technical term is, transsexuality or whatever, I heard about male to females, people who were born male and transition to female. And that made sense to me, okay, I get it, Then I heard about, female to males. Females, people born female, transition to male. And I was like, why would anybody want to be male? I was all like, being a guy sucks. I mean, if you're a girl, you're pretty, you're happy. This is when I was young and dumb. So, it's just my initial reaction to all of it. And I was thinking about it, that kind of makes sense. I understand it now that I've done more research, and actually have a few trans male friends. I thought so I can understand it. It's the same with trans female. It's all really the same as they feel they're men. So I got it now, but I couldn't understand it when I was little. I was I think for me that probably should have been the biggest tell for me, because this is before I started wearing girls' clothes, or thought I had an interest in it, because it's just the little things, it's something little that you don't really think about till you're forced to think about it in a way, and then you're viewing it through this lens, the lens of the present or whatever, you're looking at the past and all these little things that didn't really mean nothing at the time. Now you see kind of mean some things, and it may not mean nothing to anybody else, but to me it does. It just showed me how I viewed myself as a guy. And don't get me wrong, when I was a kid, I was not depressed. I had every right to be. I was a happy kid, I was all the way up until junior high. People called me Opie. Of course, once I was in junior high, they called me Opie on steroids, because how big I was, how much bigger I was than all of my other classmates. When I was in junior high, I shot up a foot, so I was about almost 6 feet tall already, and everybody else was 5'4". So yeah, people called me Opie when I was little because I always was smiling, I was always smiling, playing, being happy. Plus I had really, really red hair and really noticeable freckles. I still have pretty noticeable freckles, I think, but probably can't see it under the makeup right at the moment. I don't really know. But yeah, it's just these little things that you kind of forced to think about at one point, and when you're trying to figure yourself out, and some days some thought will just pop in your head and go, oh my god, that makes so much sense now, when I was little, I have a very strange habit. All my brothers, I'm the youngest child of my family. I have 3 older brothers, 2 of whom my father had with his first wife from a previous marriage, and when I first met them, they were already 45 years older than me. So yeah. No wait, that's not right. Oh, yeah. Huh. They were not 45. They were about, I'd say, 33. Because my dad's first youngest son is 1 year older than my mom. And she was 30 when they first met. Okay, yeah. It's kind of hard to figure it out because my dad is 18 years older than my mom. And he met her at a truck stop. So, you know, they fell in love there. He paid her $10 to leave him alone. He was a trucker and she was a waitress at the truck stop. You know, not like a lounge, a lot lizard, as my mom calls them. Those are hookers in parking lots. FYI. And anyway, he paid her $10 to leave her alone. You know, and she kept annoying him. And eventually, he asked her out, I guess. You know, and fell in love and all that mushy stuff. But anyway, he had children already. So anyway, back to what I was wanting to say was, I remember being like 12 years old, and I was looking at my nieces. You know, they were like, I had two nieces. I have three nieces. Two are older than me. One is older by 1 year, and one niece is like 4 years younger than me. And I was just looking at her and I thinking, that's just so unfair, you know? Like, not because she could be girly, because she wasn't girly at the time. She was a tomboy, you know, like all the other girls I knew, in fact, all of my nieces. So that wasn't what I was jealous of. I was just thinking, like, she can be a mom, you know, like, she can have kids. Like, and I know guys can have kids, but not have kids, you know, the baby belly and all that. So I thought, you know, like, if I can't have the kids, at least I could be a dad. And, like, I wouldn't want to be a dad. I wouldn't want kids anymore. I mean, when I was young and dumb, I used to think I wanted kids. But the more I've hung around kids, the more I thought, you know what, kids suck. I wouldn't want kids. Like, oh, it's different when it's young. I was like, I'm not gonna take that risk, and I don't have that much money now, and no prospects to raise a kid. Raising a kid is fucking expensive. I think someone said, to raise a child to 18 years costs at least $1 million over the entire span. And that's just for the basics. You know, if you're like me, and you know, you get a lot of toys sometimes, you know. If you want a lot of toys, you know, video games and shit. Video games now, hell, they're really expensive. But anyway, that's just one of the things I had to think about. That I had started thinking about. That when I was little, I wanted kids, but I didn't want to be the dad. And I couldn't understand why anybody wanted to be a guy. And looking back on it, it's just like one of those little things that's, oh, it makes so much sense. You know, it's like foreshadowing in a movie or a book. Like, then you start thinking about it near the end or near the culmination of the story, and like, oh, wow, so that's what that means.